real person.
We love that fact. Well, the house isn't only home to celebrity housemates. There have been loads of regular folk walking through those doors too.
Yeah, we've sent the OK TV cameras to catch up with some previous housemates at the BB launch party. And this is where they're looking forward to. This is what they're looking forward to in this series of Big Brother.
What we're looking forward to on this year's Big Brother would be the new massive pool. Hopefully, I want to see lots of champagne spray parties by that pool. I want it to have a good, feel-good vibe. And I'm looking forward to housemates who I want to become my best friends just through the television. That's a great year of Big Brothers, when you feel like you know someone and you want them to be your mate.
I really love the bitchy people, you know, the argumentative people, the one that's going to cause all the fireworks. That's all I'm into. Maybe a bit of a love triangle, that's great all the time, but for me it's all about the arguments. That's why I enjoy this show.
I didn't find it very hard. Everyone says it's like a struggle in the house, but I thought it was quite fun. Free food, stupid games, pretty good for me.
I think the secret to being a good housemate is almost not even knowing it. Because the people that go in there with no sort of agendas always come out really the best.
It's so cliched, but you know, it has to be just be yourself, but so many of them don't that it is worth saying.
Be yourself.
I think be yourself, because you will get found out if you're not being yourself, definitely.
The secret is being true to yourself, like just enjoy yourself.
Enjoy this rare opportunity that you're getting in the house. Make the most of it. Just don't take it too serious.
There's a pleasant blast from the past. I do love seeing those faces, you know.
Being themselves.
Just being themselves.
Just being themselves. Right. If you've ever wondered how celebs cope being cooped up in the house, away from their agents, their publicists, and other things that make them feel special, well, here's a man who can answer all those questions.
Yes, it's former Big Brother psychologist, Dr. Thomas. How are you?
Guys, good to see you.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Isn't he?
You've been in charge previous years of the people that have gone in and seeing if they're mentally all right. What advice would you give to the celebs that are going into the house this year?
I think they have to be ready to take a lot of pressure, and sometimes they think because they're celebrities that they're used to the exposure and the cameras, but it's very different. It's a very difficult situation because you have to kind of appear normal and like every other person, but at the same time they're more exposed than ever. So it's very difficult to balance those things.
How intricate are your tests? Do you do it over the course of just an hour? Is it saying they sit down multiple choice, or do you actually go in a little bit deeper than that?
It's about 3 or 4 hours worth of testing. And you know,
would Emma and Josie pass it? So we know Josie's passed it because she obviously went in there.
I'm not too sure, actually. No, yeah, probably.
Yes.
Do you think the celebs need special treatment as opposed to like the regular housemates?
Definitely. I mean, like regular people, some of them are much more vulnerable than others. And, you know, I was hearing you say about, you know, Charlie Sheen going in. I would be worried about the other housemates if he goes in, not so much himself, you know. But I think they need special treatment when they're when their self or their egos, or you know, it's a bit fragile. When they're too dependent on what other people might think of them, then it's worth going into therapy, really, or at least having a bit of coaching.
Sure. Is there anyone you've ever advised not to go into the house?
Yeah, obviously I can't give, you know, specific names, but there have been circumstances in which, you know, it wouldn't be a very good idea. Obviously it's television, so you want a bit of entertainment. You want people who are eccentric, entertaining, but not a risk to themselves or others. So it's a thin line.
Health and safety.
On to Josie. You've lived in that house. What's it like being in that confined space?
Well, I absolutely loved it, Jen, because it was a bit of time off work. So I classed it as like a massive holiday, swimming pool in the back garden, didn't even have to go to the shops, lovely. But it can be, I think, for some people, one of the most stressful environments in the world, and there is no getting away from the cameras, not even to go to the toilet.
Dr. Thomas, is it natural for people to spend that much time away from the outside world with a certain set of people?
It's not natural. I mean, for celebrities, it's a little bit more normal because, in a way, even though they're isolated from people in their minds, they're being watched by all these people, and they're very aware of that. And celebrities differ from normal people or regular people and non-celebrities in 2 main ways. One, they're a lot more vain and narcissistic, so they really need to have an inflated opinion or view of themselves. And secondly, they're able to manipulate how others perceive them in a much better and more successful way. So they can actually manage their impression much more successfully. So you were saying, you know, you have to be yourself. They're able to portray a fake persona for much longer, but not for many weeks, you know, maybe a couple of days.
You really know your stuff, and at first when you walked in I thought you're far too cute and handsome and good looking and fashionable to be a great psychologist.
I
love the way you speak. I like the way you speak.
I know I'm not actually listening to what you're saying.
You're going to make me blush on television, and it's not good.
So, do you think that it's fun to have people in there that are going to struggle slightly?
Yeah, I mean, as much as, you know, it's a TV show and it's fun, I think we all like to see people struggle a little bit.
What's the biggest struggle in the Big Brother house?
I think the biggest struggle is food. I mean, every year it's the one thing that kind of breaks everybody. Do you know what I mean? And I think for me, if I went in there, it would be the one thing that bothered me as well. Not that I didn't have enough of it, but you know, some people, they just go for it all themselves and they don't think about what's left for everyone else. That winds me up.
Do you think people would be all right about the fact that you're feeding for two? They take that into consideration.
As long as there's enough cake in there, Jeff, I'd be fine.
Now, Dr. Thomas, you mentioned before that celebrities are vain. How do you think they're going to cope not knowing what people are saying about them and not knowing how they're being perceived on the outside?
I think, you know, it's more than that. It's about competing with each other, because really it is a popularity contest for them. And the question is, how would they cope with rejection, with being evicted earlier on and leaving the show? I think that could be a really big blow. If they get to the final stages, I think in many cases it can revamp their career and they can feel very good. But yeah, all of them are much more vain than the average person.
Thank you, Dr. Thomas, you cutie. It's time for us to take a break. We've still got lots to come tonight, though.
Yeah, after the break, Jeff will be going inside the Big Brother house to give you a sneaky peek.
I'm very excited about that. We'll also be hearing from the main man himself. Yes, Big Brother's new presenter, Brian Dowling. All that right after this.